Power Rangers time!
Geekvolution!
Any episode they find!
Geekvolution!
Every single kind! Go, go, Cap and Jayson!
Go, go, Cap and Jayson! Go, go, Cap and Jayson! Geekvolution, Cap and Jayson!
Hello everyone, welcome back to Go Go Cap and Jayson. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Jayson.
And today I picked the episode that we're going to be watching of Power Rangers. Jayson and I just watched it because it had been a long time since either of us had seen it. After what we did last time with Forever Red, we decided that we were going to go ahead, after all, and start rewatching these ahead of time because there were a lot of things that I could have talked about and brought up with Forever Red that I was a little rusty because it had been a long time since I'd seen it, and I kind of regretted not talking about some certain things in that. So anyway, we're going to come to this a little bit more prepared. We thought this would be kind of fun to do as a blind commentary thing. Jayson is a little bit inexperienced in the commentary world, so we're getting him a little bit better at it, at not just watching the thing and forgetting he's making a video.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to work on that a little bit.
Okay.
So we watched today's episode, and we're going to watch it again with you folks and discuss it, the episode today, and probably riff a little bit. There is some really goofy, hilarious stuff in this because it's early for season Power Rangers, and it's this one gets ridiculous. This is Peace, Love, and Woe, and I picked this not because it's one of my favorite episodes or anything, and it's not great, right?
Yeah, it's not great.
It's okay. There's some fun stuff in this.
It's hilarious. That's what it is. It's not great. It's hilarious.
I picked this because I wanted to see it again and remind myself what exactly we did with Madame Woe, because she is one of the only monster characters, and I guess she's not really a monster so much as just some kind of a supernatural being in this. She's not one of Finster's monsters. Yeah. She's not built by him. She's in an alternate dimension and can put people in alternate dimensions. But the reason I picked this is because she is one of the villain characters that you can play as and play against in the fighting game on Sega Genesis.
Oh.
And she does the teleporting thing in that. She's kind of a fun character in that. Yeah. And you've played that game, but it's been a while. So we'll pull it out again if you want to see it, Jayson.
Okay, yeah.
But, yeah.
She kind of looks like a Pokemon.
You think so?
She kind of looks like one of the legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, and I mean, it makes sense because this is all Japanese stuff. So, I mean, it comes from the same kind of ilk in a way, right?
Right.
So you can totally see how the same place would create a couple of things that would look like that.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. She totally could have been a Pokemon.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the only reason I picked this, was just out of my own morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun to talk about Madame Woe because we act like she's way more powerful than she ultimately ends up being, and she's kind of a little bit too easy to beat. So we'll talk about that. If you want to watch it with us, and I encourage you to do so, get your DVDs or get on Netflix if you have access to that, and make sure to get past menus and things. If you're watching a DVD, get it to timestamp 0 and get ready to press play when we say now. Are you ready, Jayson? Let's go ahead and get right into it. Here we go. We're going to watch the 13th episode of first season Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, real super early. This is pre-Green Ranger and everything. This is just a few episodes before Green with Evil. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Everybody please press play right
now. There's our intro.
I hope you listen to Jayson. I let him decide when exactly we were all pressing play.
Yeah. Why does she always say ah? It's kind of weird.
Because she's been, stuck in a dumpster for a long time, and so she's stretching. She's doing her stretches. Ah! After, she's relieved. She's getting out of her dumpster.
Oh.
She's hilarious in this particular episode.
Yeah.
I'm a little impressed by some of her lip sync in this. The ways in which we write the dialogue and have her deliver it so that it sort of matches the Japanese actress. It's very funny.
It is very funny.
Jason, do you think the original Power Rangers have enough attitude to be teenagers with attitude?
I don't know.
Not really? Not so much?
Not really.
So, naturally, so that we can conceal the fact that we're Power Rangers, we're just constantly practicing martial arts out in the open.
Uh-huh. Side.
So Jason has done this with Austin St. John himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotten some pointers from Austin St. John.
Yep. Oh, Bulk is hilarious.
So do you actually think Bulk and Skull are funny?
Yeah.
Like, do you like this kind of pratfall humor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dorkhead? Really? Do you think that's funny?
Yeah. He lands into the cake. That's funny.
Thanks for explaining that to me. I didn't get the joke.
Yeah.
This kind of slapstick humor, of course, is really easy, but it's made funnier by the performances and the fact that these guys are having such a good time.
Yeah.
And they're just such zany, over-the-top cartoon characters. I think James Rolfe got it right when he said that that Power Rangers is a sitcom at the same time as it's a big throwback, like, Godzilla monster movie type thing.
Yeah.
So the human parts are a sitcom and then kind of a really superficial soap opera.
Yeah, it's hilarious because she says this would be a piece of cake.
Yeah, that's a great transition. That's very funny.
Yeah, because she just said cake. She just saw cake. She's like, this would be a piece of cake.
Oh, you're right. That's kind of funnier because she does it on purpose. Because she sees them. One of the questions I always have with Power Rangers is why she doesn't attack more often, given that she always knows where the Power Rangers are at any given time.
Yeah.
And what their plans are, because she's always listening in.
Yeah.
So Jason is a hip-hop dancer.
Yep, I am.
Jason is in competitive dance.
Mm-hmm.
You do a lot of different kinds of dance, but hip-hop's your favorite.
Yep.
What do you think of Zach and his brand of hip-hop?
He's really cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you gotten into breakdancing at all? You haven't really done that yet? A little bit?
A little bit.
Have you done any, like, dropping to the floor and spinning around on your back and that kind of stuff?
Kind of. I mean, I've worked on the turtle spin. That's like the only thing. It's like the only break dance I've done.
So Billy just happens to run into a girl that is intellectual and socially awkward and talks just like him.
Yeah. Which is really weird. That's... Yeah. Wait, what?
What?
Why does she have that? What logo is that?
It's not a logo. It's just a just a brooch. It's just a necklace.
Oh, I mean,
I would have expected the necklace to like end up being some kind of powerful artifact or something. I was kind of surprised it didn't go that way, especially because of the design of it. It looks like something that could have been, like a supernatural artifact.
Yeah.
And it turns out to just be the way we recognize that she's been kidnapped. But we keep focusing on it like it's going to be really important.
Yeah. Baby Genius program.
Yeah, did you graduate, Jason, from the Baby Genius program?
No.
It's hilarious. It's one of those rare moments where it feels like the show is maybe a little bit self-aware about how silly it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it always is. It knows it's a really goofy, silly show, but it's almost like making fun of itself in certain places.
Yeah.
So I think Jason maybe just kind of went against the Power Ranger code there a little bit, because he made it seem to Billy like maybe he just got called by Zordon or something. He pulls up his arm. He's like, "This is an emergency," and he's sort of like using like the non-existence, like non-existent Power Ranger business to get Billy to come over. I think that might be technically sort of against the Power Ranger code there, Jason.
Yeah. What? Why can't he? Why can't he ask
her out? Because he's too nervous.
Oh.
Yeah, he's too self-conscious and he's not sure of himself.
That's because he hates fish.
That's because he hates what?
Fish.
What's that have to do with it? That's a capital idea. That's hilarious. I'm gonna start saying that to people. I'm gonna start using that vernacular. She's just so insanely formal, and she's a cartoon character in a very different way.
Yeah.
From some of these other people. She's hilarious. I don't even want to say she's a bad actress. She's clearly hamming this up because that's what she's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
This place.
But what are you talking about? Fish?
He's scared of She's scared of fish.
Oh, the giant fish monster?
Yeah.
Okay, but what does that have to do with asking girls out? Like,
I don't know.
He just has insecurities, and he's never been out with girls before, and he's thought of as a nerd, and so he doesn't think he could ever, get a date.
Oh.
But he finds someone who's a lot like him. I actually kind of like the way that scene plays, where we kind of turn the especially at this period in time, we kind of turn the obvious thing or the standard thing on its head, where what you would expect to happen is she gets annoyed at him for not asking her out, and then she walks off in a huff, and then the big lesson he learns is that he should be a little bit more sure of himself, and then he asks her out at the end. What happens instead is she goes ahead and just asks him out. And I don't know, that's pretty progressive for this period in a kid's show, I'll say. Like kind of. I don't want to give it too much credit, but that's kind of cool.
This place looks like Antioch Park.
Yeah, not that most people listening to this have any idea what you're talking about, Jason, but here in Overland Park, in Kansas City, our favorite park is a park that looks a lot like this.
Yeah.
So, Madame Woe can send people to other dimensions. This is one of the several characters we have in this season who is not, and one of the first, I guess, because we're going to get to Scorpina in a little bit with Green with Evil.
Yeah.
She's one of the few that isn't made by Finster and is just another evil creature that exists out in the cosmos. I'm not sure if she is on Earth at the beginning of this or in another dimension when we first see her.
Oh. Yeah.
But she should be this big deal, scary character because of the power she has.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's going to end up being a little bit too easy to beat her.
Yeah. Why does he not fight them?
He kind of just stands there and runs around with flowers in his hand. I don't know why he doesn't kick them.
He's not doing anything. Why isn't he?
A theory I've always had is that Billy, and I think I've heard other people talk about this, is that Billy kind of doesn't really know how to fight until he morphs.
Oh.
There's a lot of things that, like, information and abilities you have when you morph. Like, the power part of Power Rangers is always kind of ambiguous, and it seems like your big power is just being able to do the things you're supposed to do as a Power Ranger.
Yeah.
And because remember, really early on, before this episode, he is working with Jayson and maybe Trini, I forget, but maybe some of the other Rangers too, trying to actually learn how to fight. He doesn't really know what he's doing.
Oh.
But there are places at a costume where he does a lot more than just stand there and get pushed, up to the edge of a cliff.
Well, and he does take credit, right?
Yeah.
Jayson, I think it's after this episode, though, right?
I think it's before this.
Huh?
Where he starts doing that, but I forget. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, Kimberly just jumped over a barrel. That's the thing we like to do a lot in the side-scrolling video games.
Oh,
we'd
really?
have a lot of barrels that you have to leap over. Yep.
Whoa.
What?
Oh, nothing. Wait, why don't they just disappear after they get kicked or something? Like...
What, the bodies?
Yeah. Don't they, just, disappear after they're in the rear panel?
You're right, they're a little bit inconsistent with that.
Yeah.
Yep. I always thought that it was easier as a kid, and this is part of the popularity of Power Rangers, in in making the show more inexpensive. Obviously, we fight in public places like parks and things, but it makes it easier to put yourself in their shoes and imagine yourself as a teenage superhero, because that's the sort of place that you're at all the time. So when you go to a park, you imagine you're fighting putties, and you're already in the kind of regular locale instead of like a rooftop or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're gonna face one of the most powerful foes.
Called Madam Woe. That rhymes.
For she brings woe or trouble. We were gonna call her Madam Trouble, but it didn't sound as intimidating and dramatic
And poetic.
Okay, so the only way to defeat her, Zordon says, is to combine your powers. He's really vague about what exactly that means, but somehow later on, Billy is going to understand exactly what he's talking about, even though he didn't really explain it. Because apparently, what that means is one person has to take all the power of all the Power Rangers and rush her, and then that gets you out of a dimension that she puts you in. But he doesn't explain that. What he says is, to defeat her, you must combine your power coins. When they actually defeat her, meaning making her explode like they're fighting a regular monster, it's just gonna be because they put their weapons together and shot her like they usually do.
Yeah, that's weird.
The warp effect is kind of fun. That's my favorite bit.
Yeah.
Looks at her, he's like, oh, hi.
Marge.
Yes, they're the Power Rangers. Yeah, Marge. Next up, we're gonna go save Lisa and Maggie and Bart and Homer. I love Madame O's design. This is one of those episodes that I've always wanted to go back to and look at the Sentai. Now, you've seen some of the Sentai, but I don't know if you ever got to Madame Woe.
Yeah, I never got to Madame Woe. I only saw, like...
3 or 4 episodes?
Yeah.
We'll have to go back and watch some more of that. It might be fun to do a commentary, too, on that at some point.
Yeah,
but I don't know that enough people have access to it.
Yeah.
But we can try to watch through it and do, like, just a little review at some point. Or maybe I'll talk about it on the Mega Show.
Yeah. Or try to be there.
Yeah. We'll see if we can do it on a day where, in your really busy schedule, you have a little bit of time, Jason.
Yeah.
So see, she's got like a big jewel in her head that like fires things and sends people to different dimensions, and I might have thought that would have been connected to the necklace somehow.
Yeah. Billy, Zach doesn't know much about science. Stop using science words for... like moving fast and stuff.
Is he talking over his head too much?
Yeah.
Like, just know to your audience, right?
Yeah.
That's important.
Just, why does he do it last?
Because he's the important one.
Oh.
Because they're going to put all their powers in him. Because that's teamwork, you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously they have to combine their power coins because in whatever the Sentai episode was, that's what happens in that episode. You can tell that all happens in that same area, and it's part of that episode.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see what the explanation is, and if it, is more interesting or makes more sense.
Yeah.
In the other one,
her laugh is hilarious.
That's a thing, though. If we had more specific and consistent rules in Power Rangers, that's the thing that I guess could make sense. Where it's like, it takes all of your power, and then you can go from one dimension to another, or like, I guess combined with what she's doing, like use her power against her or something. Like, if we had just a little bit more of an explanation of what exactly we're doing.
Yeah.
That could make sense.
Yeah. Why is her breath
make sparks come out of him?
Yeah.
Because it's Power Rangers and everything makes sparks come out of you?
Really?
Yeah, I think Power Ranger costumes are just filled with the things on, like, the bridge of the Enterprise that explode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plasma conduits.
Yeah.
Power Ranger costumes are filled with plasma conduits.
Mm-hmm. Here's the part where she hides behind a rock.
So I don't want to talk about this too much, especially since I have a 7-year-old here. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention David Yost. it's hide behind a rock time. Yeah. But if I didn't mention, of course, David Yost and his tumultuous history with Power Rangers, just knowing what we know about David Yost now, it's kind of interesting. Because I think this is the first episode where he...
Powerlands.
Power Sword.
Power Sword.
This is, I'm sure, the first episode where there's really anything about a romance with Billy. And it's kind of interesting what we know with him personally, watching him have to act that. And of course, you don't have to be of the same persuasion of a character you're playing to be able to play that, of course. But considering that he was put down so much by the staff of the show because of it's just not fair.
Why can't I always get to win?
That's because you're evil. That's why. But I just wanted to mention, with his sexual orientation, I think it's kind of interesting to go back to an episode like this, and just kind of wonder how he must have been feeling at the time.
Yeah.
But that's just for the folks in the audience that know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
I was worried.
I was worried too, because I was all kidnapped and stuck in another dimension. She's wearing blue. Of course.
She's partial to blue? What? Why is she partial to blue?
It's her favorite color.
Oh.
That's all that means.
Oh.
She's using a lot of big science words, like you said, Jason, but I don't think partial is one of them. You don't know what partial means? No? It means no one can see you shaking your head.
Oh, yeah, no.
It means you like something.
Oh, okay.
It means it's your preference. My preference is blue.
Oh, there.
Yeah, and Jason's not really ever going to have all that much going on in the dating department.
Yeah. I am not. Oh, you're talking about the... oh, okay.
No, Jason, I'm sure you'll have no problem getting a date when you're older.
Yeah.
The Rangers are all wearing not just their colors, but like a full ensemble of their colors, with pants and a top that's all entirely the color they are.
What the heck? Why does he have money in his toes?
That's where he keeps his money.
What?
Yep, because he's gross.
That took care of the cake, alright?
This clearly is playing really well to the audience that it was intended for, which is like 6 to 10-year-olds, because Jason thinks this is hilarious. So this is one of those places where we really just degenerate totally into a cartoon. Like, what is Ernie doing right now?
Why is he dancing with cake on his face?
With cake on his face, yep. I guess he's just throwing his hands up in the air, and he's just like, you know what, this is the world I live in. If Bulk and Skull walk in, they're going to break my cakes. So I might as well just lean into it. I don't think the setup of that is funny, but I do think just the absurdity of Ernie walking off and dancing with cake on him is kind of funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. There's a mediocre episode of Season 1 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And not a great pick or anything, but I honestly was just curious about Madame Woe.
Yeah.
And so that's why I went ahead and went for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks for watching with me, Jason.
Yeah.
Was that kind of fun?
Mm-hmm.
And you thought the Vulcan Skull stuff was funny?
Yeah, the Vulcan Skull.
And
it's
funny. I also wanted to mention that it's kind of odd that there's not a Megazord fight in that. Because Because this is also a thing that we're inconsistent about a lot in early Power Rangers, and really Power Rangers in general, where a monster or bad guy will explode, and then we make them grow. Like, why didn't Rita make her grow? Like, apparently just because you explode doesn't mean that you can't grow.
Yeah, they don't do that in Operation Overdrive. alive.
They don't?
Yeah, they don't make people big.
Oh, they don't?
Yeah, they don't make monsters big.
What are the Megazord fights about?
Do
they just fight other mechs and things?
There are these two guys, like in the middle of the show, who have their own, like, cool Megazord.
And they only fight other Megazords?
Yeah, they only fight other Megazords.
That's weird. That makes you wonder what the Sentai was like with that, too.
Yeah.
So, Jason, do you have any idea what you're going to pick next time?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to tell us, or do you want to save it, make it a surprise?
I'm gonna tell you what the series is gonna be.
Just the series?
Yeah, just the series.
Okay, what are we watching next time?
Mighty Morphin.
We're gonna go to another Mighty Morphin?
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping we'd skip around series a little bit.
Oh.
Maybe jump to another show since we just did Mighty Morphin.
Okay,
I mean, it's your pick, so we can. It's totally... So you want to go ahead and go on to another Mighty Morphin? There's a lot of Mighty Morphin, most assuredly.
Right.
You had talked about Space.
Yeah. Oh, I
maybe
forgot.
go ahead and do Space and then go to your Mighty Morphin pick next time it's your turn?
Yeah, I would
Is that okay?
Space. Yeah.
I think maybe we should make it a rule that we always go to at least another series next time. That we don't keep in the same series. Could we do that, you think?
Yeah.
Is that a good idea? Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, Jason, thanks for hanging out with me, buddy.
You're welcome. Whatever the word is. But I wonder, what's the phrase? You're welcome.
You just said that.
What?
What
she said.
Oh
yeah, the phrase was.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Is that in that episode?
Yeah.
Okay, that was very funny. Well done. Anyway, we'll see you again next week, folks. Thanks a lot for listening. I am Captain Logan.
And I'm Jayson.
Bye.
Cowabunga.
It's on Ninja Turtle.
Bye.